Parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines are lines that run next to each other that never cross. And perpendicular lines are lines that cross and make a T, so have a 90-degree angle. Let's look at a few examples. First, let's graph a couple of parallel lines. Y equals 2x minus 6. The y-intercept is negative 6, so make a dot. And our slope is 2. So it's a positive number, so we'll be going uphill from left to right. And it's greater than 1, so it's going to be pretty steep. So my m number is 2. Turn that into a fraction, 2 over 1. So that means I'm going to go up 2, right 1. And down 2, left 1. Let's look at the other line. 2x plus 1. My b number is 1, so I go on the y-axis, I find 1, and I make a dot. And again, my m number is 2, which again means I'm going to go up 2, right 1. You'll notice that these lines are parallel. And they are parallel because they have the exact same slope. So when the m number is the same, you will have parallel lines. So parallel lines have equal slopes. Let's look now at perpendicular lines. These two lines will be perpendicular. Let's graph them to see. 2x plus 3. Okay, so plus 3, that means I go to my y-axis and I make a dot. That's the y-intercept. And then my slope is 2. So just like before, I make it into a fraction by putting 1 under it. So that means I'll go up 2, right 1. So from my dot, up 2, right 1. Again, we know that a slope of 2, since it's above 1, is going to be more than a 45-degree angle. It's going to be a pretty steep line. Okay, let's look at our other line. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. My b number is again 3, although perpendicular lines do not have to have the same y-intercept. My slope is negative 1/2. So that means my pattern will be down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. So there's my line. Notice that they are perpendicular. There's a 90-degree angle here. So let's talk about what we know about their slopes then. Okay, perpendicular slopes have opposite signs. So if one's a negative, the other's a positive. If one's a positive, the other's a negative. Like our slopes, we had a positive 2 going uphill and a negative 1/2 going downhill. They have to be one going uphill, one going downhill. And the other thing to know about them is they are reciprocals of each other. So whereas my first line went up to right 1, my perpendicular line had to go down 1, right 2. So perpendicular slopes will be negative reciprocals of each other. They'll have the opposite signs, and the numbers will be reciprocals. So let's do some problems. First, part A. Find the equation of the line connecting -1, 5 and 2, -4. The first thing I've done is I've graphed that line. I drew the points -1, 5 and 2, -4 and connected them with a line. I don't have the y-intercept, so I'm going to use point-slope form to find the equation of this line. And the first thing that I need if I'm going to use point-slope form is the slope. So I'll find the slope. I can either do it visually, or I'll use my slope equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'll name my points here. I'll have this be point 1, so this is the x-coordinate of point 1, so x1, and this will be y1. And then we'll call this point 2, so this is the x-coordinate of point 2, or x2, and y2. So y2 is -4, minus y1 is 5, over x2 is 2, minus -1. So that will be -4 minus 5 is -9. 2 minus -1, that actually turns into 2 plus 1, which is 3, which gives us -3. Our m number is -3. Okay. So now I'll use my point-slope form equation. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Then I'll sub out m, y1, and x1 for the numbers from my problem. The y-coordinate of one point on our line is 5. I'll use that. Equals the m number is -3. And the x1 is -1. X minus -1 is really x plus 1. So here's the point-slope form of our line. I'm going to simplify this into slope-intercept form. So I'll distribute. And move that 5 to the other side. So I get y equals -3x plus 2. Now double check that with your line that you've drawn. Is my slope -3? Yeah, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. And does it have a y-intercept of 2? Yeah, it looks to have a y-intercept of 2. So there is the equation in slope-intercept form of part A. Part B. Find the equation of the line parallel to line A that goes through the point 1, -8. The first thing I've done is draw this line. There's the point 1, -8, and I've drawn a line that's parallel to the red line. So how am I going to find that equation? Well, I'm going to use point-slope form. What will my m be? Well, we know that parallel lines have the same slopes. So since the line in part A had a slope of -3, my parallel line will also have a slope of -3. And I'll need a point. I'll need to sub in an x1, y1. So I need a point that's on my line, and I have one there. Okay. So y minus y1 is -8 equals -3 times x minus x1 is 1. So this is y plus 8. And then I'll distribute over here. And then move the 8 to the other side. So the equation of that parallel line is y equals -3x plus 5. Oop, it should be -5, right? +3 minus 8 is negative 5. How did I catch my mistake? I looked at my line and I said, hey, that y-intercept looks to be negative 5, not positive 5. So sometimes graphing the line and doing your algebra at the same time can help you to catch some mistakes. Again, how do we know these are parallel? They have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to line A that goes through the point 3, 2. So I made a picture of our line. I want it to go through the point 3, 2 and be perpendicular or form a 90-degree angle with line A. It's also going to be perpendicular to line B as well. Okay, first thing is, let's see if we can find our slope. What's our slope going to be? We know that slopes of perpendicular lines are the negative reciprocals of the line that they're perpendicular to. So since that line had a slope of negative 3, or changed to a fraction negative 3 over 1, I changed the sign, so it's going to be a positive number, and I flip the fraction, or find the reciprocal, so it'll be 1/3. So my m number, my slope, will be 1/3. Up 1, right 3. Next, I need a point to sub in to use point slope. Well, I have a point right there. There's the x-coordinate of it, so x1, and there's the y-coordinate of it, so y1. So now I can use point slope form. So I'm going to sub out the y1, the m, and the x1. I'm going to leave the y and the x. Simplify. So distribute 1/3 x minus 1/3 times 3 is 1. Y equals 1/3 x plus 1. Does that go with the picture we have drawn? Yeah. Y-intercept of 1, slope of 1/3. So again, lines that are perpendicular have slopes that are the negative reciprocal of the line that they're perpendicular to.